My name is Ed Edelson. Thank you for taking the time to learn about me and how together we can make Southbury a better place to work, live, raise a family, and retire. As a Southbury resident, business owner, and leader in the local Democratic Party, I am concerned about the recent developments in Southbury in the areas of governance, civility, and politics. For these reasons, I am seeking the nomination of the Democratic Town Committee for First Selectman. Before further explaining why I am running and why I would be an effective First Selectman, I want to tell you about myself and my involvement in Southbury. As many of you know, my wife, Christine, and I moved to Southbury in 2004 to open the bed and breakfast Cornucopia at Oldfield. After opening the bed and breakfast, I went to a planning commission meeting. Presenting that night was the Pomperaug River Watershed Coalition. I was very impressed by both the quality of the presentation, but also the interest in scientific information by the Planning Commission. I volunteered to help the coalition that night, and Dr. Mark Taylor, the chairman of the board of the coalition at that time, took me up on my offer. I soon was serving on committees of the coalition and eventually its board, and then as its executive director. That also led to my appointment to the Inland Wetlands Commission, where I served for about 3 years before stepping down when I felt there was a conflict of interest between my position as executive director of the coalition and serving on the Wetlands Commission. After stepping down, I was appointed to a vacancy on the Board of Finance, where I recently introduced a more comprehensive approach to determining the long-term financial reserve requirements. Another interesting thing that happened in those first days after the B&B was open was attending a talk by Joyce Hornbecker, now one of the town's official historians. Joyce hooked me on Southbury's history. She even came over the next day with copies of the original deeds for our property. And through Joyce, we found the Southbury Historical Society and some very helpful people, like Mary Kay Flaherty and, of course, the late Arlene Mitchell. I was able to learn enough so that I could be telling our guests about Southbury's wonderful history. My interest grew, and so I agreed to serve on the Southbury Historic District Commission #1. Recently, I was asked to be on the board of directors of the Southbury Historical Society. Ron Webb of the Southbury Business Association also came by in those first few months, and soon we were members of the association, where I served on the board of directors and now serve on the program committee. In early 2005, I saw an article about Southbury Democratic Town Committee. I soon joined because of my commitment to the progressive policies of the Democratic Party. I have served as vice chair and chair of that committee over the past 4 years. I played an instrumental role in developing and updating our committee's platform, which still expresses many important positions that distinguish the Democrats from other political organizations in this community. I think you will find that people I've worked with on these boards, commissions, and committees will say that I bring new ideas, energy, and a willingness to roll up my sleeves and make things happen. That's how I was raised. My parents, like so many of their generation, instilled in me the idea that I should strive to make the world a better place when I leave it than it was when I arrived. Although we were not wealthy, I realized I had opportunities that many did not. And with that came responsibility to give back to a society that helped my immigrant grandparents start from nothing, earn a living, educate their children, and allow them to provide more opportunities for the next generation.